Hey everybody, good morning. Mike Pawlawski here, former 11-year pro quarterback and a Cal Hall of Famer at that. I'm out here on my walk this morning. I was talking to my quarterbacks yesterday because I coach quarterbacks privately here in the Bay Area. And we were talking not just about the skills. Everybody's online and they're looking at all these skills, and I see all these guys out there on Instagram teaching all this stuff. It's so dysfunctional. But it's neat, it's clicky, it gets attention. Fundamentals are fundamentals for a reason, because they work. And teaching all these things where you're putting all these extra moves in and doing all of that doesn't necessarily help a quarterback, especially a young quarterback, when you're trying to be as efficient as possible. And that should be your goal as a quarterback, to be as efficient as possible while you're throwing the football. That will make you more accurate. It'll increase arm strength. It'll do all kinds of goodness to your game. Whereas doing all these things where you're jumping off the front foot, and you're stepping wide, and you're throwing from a low hold, all those things, no bueno, they don't help. So that wasn't what I was here to talk to you about, though. What I was thinking about was, as we try to get better, we're always striving to get better, and we as athletes turn to the physical. What can I do physically? Plyos and lifting and running and throwing and all of these physical things that we can do to get better, which are all super important. And I strongly recommend you do everything physically you can do to get better. But we also need to get better mentally and emotionally at the game. One of the things about the quarterback position is that you are a leader. You have to be the guy that the team turns to for direction. And it's not necessarily your giving them direction by telling them where to go or telling them what to do. You don't have to be a yeller and a screamer, but you do have to be the example of a direction. And that means you have to share with your team. Teams that are separate, teams that are apart, are the teams that are destined to fail. You need to have a common bond with your team. And to give you a reference, I played 2 years in college at Cal. Both of my years we played in bowl games. I played 11 years pro. Of those, I started for 7 years. Of those 7 years, I was in postseason play or won a world championship 5. So I have a little bit of experience with what it takes to bring a team together to win. My Arena Football League team from 1999 was voted the greatest team in the history of arena football. And I was doing stuff then. I didn't know I was doing it, but I was doing stuff then that is part of that leadership skill. And it is essentially being open with your team, opening yourself up. These days, with all the social media and everything else out there, we're all trying to put on this brave face. And quite honestly, we've been doing it forever, but we're trying to put this brave face out there. We're trying to act like we're tougher and act like we know everything. Look, nobody knows everything. And people doubt themselves all the time. When I was playing in pro games where I had been the league's leading passer for 3 years running, I still had some of that imposter syndrome. Like, it's going to catch up to me. They're going to figure me out. That part's okay. That's human. The part that great leaders and great quarterbacks and great athletes have is they overcome that to be the athlete they can be. They fulfill their potential. And that is by giving strength to your team and taking strength from your team. Being open, being one, being synced up with your team and being on the same page with them. And I don't just mean schematically, I mean emotionally on the same page. Have a belief, a team belief that pulls that team through, that makes that team great. And you have to start that as a quarterback. You have to be the guy that shares their belief, that bears their soul, that opens themselves up to the team, being open and honest about your desires, your wants, your dreams, your fears even, so that your team can work with you. And then once you have done that, everybody has the goal of being the greatest. What are you willing to commit to? What are you willing to do in terms of putting in the work to make that goal happen? When you do that as a leader, and then you live by your commitment to your teammates, your accountability to your teammates will follow. They will do the same. And those are the greatest teams that you will ever play for. Just my morning message out here. I was thinking about it. I was talking to my young quarterbacks the other day about it. And so if you are a Bay Area quarterback and you're looking for some quarterback coaching, you can message me here. But wanted to reach out to you guys today and talk to you about being a leader at the position of quarterback. Don't fall for the cheap stuff. The basics win. Fundamentals are fundamental for a reason. But be open, create that oneness, create that bond with your team, and watch how many dividends it pays. I'll talk to you guys later.